Today I'm at the National Physical Laboratory in Teddington in London, and there are two stories about randomness for the price of one. You probably know the name of somebody who's worked here. Alan Turing is very famous. He worked here after the end of the Second World War and he'd finished his work at Bletchley Park, and he came here to build a computer called ACE, which he sadly never really completed. The designs of it were somewhat flawed. In 1947, he was joined by another computer scientist called Davies, you probably haven't heard of. But Davies had an idea that properly changed the world. In the 60s, Davies realised that there was a limitation about how we could connect computers to one another. Until then, the only way you could do it was point to point, a single connection between the two machines, which could be over a very long distance, but was very fragile and very expensive. If you lost connection, the two machines couldn't talk to each other anymore. What Davies realised was that if you could break up information into small packets and then push them at random through a complex network and then reassemble the packets at the other end, you could have much more flexibility in how you get computers to work with one another. And that idea, which is called packet switch networks, is at the core of the internet. So every day that you're using the internet, you're using technologies that Davies invented. And in fact, this very video you're watching now is as a result of a packet switch network. The interesting thing for me is how who becomes famous isn't necessarily down to just the successfulness of the idea that they have. Turing is in films, he's on banknotes, there are statues of him. And that's for a bunch of reasons that weren't just about his computing prowess. It's about the nature of the story of Turing, the fact he did the work at Bletchley Park in secret, the fact that that work didn't come to light until way after the war, the tragic end to his life, maybe some of the stereotypes about what a nerdy computer scientist is. Until today, until this video, I bet though you hadn't heard of Davies, and that's a shame.